A very good morning. As a part of the Seminar in Finance final project, we would like to present the proposal for the merger of 3M with Avery Dennison Company. I would like to introduce my team, group number 5, Mirandi Gomez, Christopher P. Roebuck, and myself, Shravan Purohit. Initially, I would like to introduce the company 3M. Our company 3M is headquartered in Maplewood, Minnesota. Our company has 46 technology platforms and the integrated network of scientists and researchers work with customers to create breakthrough technology solutions. With $30 billion in sales in the year 2015, we have 90,000 employees connect with customers all around the world to solve small and big challenges. 3M company has the expertise in products ranging from adhesives, abrasives to ceramics and nanotechnology. I move to next slide. 3M company operates in 5 major segments, which are industrial and transportation, healthcare, consumer and office, electro and communications, and safety and graphics. The major part of the revenue is driven by industrial and transportation segment, which is about 10.3 billion, and the total revenue is 30.3 billion for the year 2015. As we go to the next slide, we try to highlight the 3M stock price in the last 5 years. 3M is listed in the Nasdaq and has a stock value of $212.45. The graph indicates the trend for the last 5 years performance of stock. As we observe in the graph, the trend is increasing over the years and the stocks are stable and have a futuristic growth potential. These are some of the great accomplishments of the company in the recent years. 3M also has shown a lot of importance in corporate responsibility in national and international agendas. 3M as one of the major manufacturing companies to actively address environmental issues and created programs where they involved employees to participate in benchmark program which is called pollution prevention PACE. I move to the next slide. Here I would like to talk about Avery Dennison company. Avery Dennison is a global leader in pressure sensitive label and for providing solutions for apparel labeling. Their headquarters is in Glendale, California. In every major industry, Avery Dennison's applications and technologies play an important role. They have presence in over 50 countries and more than 27,000 employees. The company reported sales of 6.1 billion in 2016 and has more than 175 manufacturing and distribution facilities worldwide. Avery Dennison Corporation is listed in the Nasdaq and has a stock value of $94.06. The graph indicates the trend for the last 5 years performance of stock. The company is really doing good and has a vertical growth potential. Recently on June 2017, Avery Dennison has acquired Yongle Tape Company headquartered in China's Hebei province which manufactures specialty tapes and high value products which cater to automotive OEMs, their suppliers and industrial markets. This adds up to $160 billion to Avery Dennison's revenue. Post-acquisition, Avery Dennison's stock value has increased from $89 to $94. So I move to the next slide. The company caters to the target markets in graphical display, packaging, logistics, industrial and healthcare domain. If we observe the 2016 revenue, 69% of the revenue is from consumer and office, 24% is from safety and graphics, and 7% of the revenue comes from healthcare. So now I would like to pass on the presentation to my teammate Mirandi Gomez. Thank you.
Thank you, Siobhan. I'd like to talk about why we should merge with Avery Dennison. We took a look at a lot of different factors, and what I'd like to present today are 3 of the most important reasons why we believe it's important for 3M to acquire and merge with Avery Dennison. First, we want to be better at our effective tax rate. 3M has been plagued with a higher than industry average tax rate, and Avery Dennison has been able to lower that tax rate. And we feel that by learning from their company, leveraging the ideas that they have for lowering the tax rate, that we're going to be a better company overall. We'd also like to streamline operations. This will increase margins for Avery's highest business segment, which is consumer and graphics. It attests for 69% of their business, and we believe that by applying our state-of-the-art manufacturing and supply chain innovations, that we'll be able to help them achieve higher margins, which will in turn allow 3M higher profits. And finally, we're going to talk about market segmentation. 3M and Avery, although we compete in similar markets, Avery actually competes in a market segment that is a lower cost segment, and one which we think will continue to grow, and we would like to leverage for the company 3M. So first, let's talk about the lower effective tax rate. Our tax rate currently is 23.7%. Avery's tax rate is 17.4%. So that translates to around a 5% difference in tax rate. If 3M were allowed to, or were able to use that same effective tax rate, that would be a net benefit of $749 million in additional profit for 3M before the merger. So what we're looking at is actually synergizing our tax departments so that we can leverage the same effective tax rate that Avery is able to appreciate in similar markets and apply that across the board to all of 3M's revenues. The next reason is higher profit margins for Avery. Avery currently has 12.5% for consumer products according to their 2016 financial statement. 3M margins for consumer products are at 23.5%, almost 11% more than Avery. If we were to apply that to the Avery products, that's an additional $23 million in profit for Avery office products, which continue to face competition and, like I said, are in a lower cost margin overall. So that additional profit would actually be beneficial for Avery joining forces with 3M, and we intend to do that by leveraging our extensive manufacturing platform, applying our Lean Six Sigma protocol, and also streamlining the supply chain worldwide. Lastly, we intend to increase additional market segmentation. We believe that pressure-sensitive adhesives, through research that we did, is expected to grow 6% through 2019. 3M currently has 4% market share. Avery has 1.23% market share. Combining the companies will increase the overall market share to help us capture this expected growth, especially growth in growing countries like China, India, and additional BRIC-P countries. By not being the industry leader in PSAs, we should receive FTC approval of the merger, which again would be a benefit to both companies because, as you've seen in the previous two slides, we both will see increased profits by moving together, working together, and including our best practices to increase profits for our shareholders. I'm now going to pass it on to Christopher, who is going to lead you through the financials. Thank you.
Hello. So as Miranda mentioned, my name is Christopher. So right now we're looking at the stock price for Avery Dennison. As we mentioned earlier, the stock price was $94.06. To try to determine how much we should be paying per share price, we did a little bit of research to see what professionals were determining for the high and the low for the averages. On average, we saw that there were $106 was the high per share for a year out, whereas the low was $63, which is a substantial difference when you're thinking about paying for a company. So what we did is we tried to average it out, and we got $87.50. So that $87.50 is technically $7 lower than what it is right now, and it's less than what they're predicting to have for their future, which, although it may seem, bad, it is running along with what professionals are estimating their total to be. So as we move on to the next slide, as you can see, we're prepared to offer $90 per share. So this is 2.56% higher than the $87.50 that was recommended by professionals. The reason that we are doing this is because we value the pressure-sensitive adhesives that the company is developing, and believe that with the 6% increase that we will be receiving for the next year in that industry, that it is worth it for us to increase it by that much. So with the $90 per share, when we multiply that by the total shares for the company, which is 88.56 million, we get a total deal of $7.9704 billion, which is what we will offer to the company. As we proceed to the next slide, when thinking about how we're going to finance the deal here at 3M, we decided to approach this in two different ways. Firstly, we were going to offer the company $1 billion from our free cash flow, and then we were going to offer the remainder from our equity at $6.9704 billion. In so doing, we're allowing our cash flow to remain constant with 4.3 billion, and our equity is still going to be fairly high as well at $4.7796 billion. By using the majority of the money from our equity, we are keeping enough money in our free cash flow so that if we do have an unneeded expense, or we have a situation in which we need to use our money, we still have 4.3 billion available, and we're only using $1 billion of that for this particular purchase. As we come to our next slide, we will see exactly why we are willing to make this financial deal. Some of the major advantages that we here at 3M will experience with this merger will be a combined technical expertise. So as we mentioned earlier, there is a lot of technology that Avery uses, and there's a lot of technology that 3M uses, and by combining these two together, we will be able to streamline production, lower our cost of goods sold, and be able to basically come up with new products that will be used throughout the industry and the world. In addition to these technical advances in the streamline of the production, 3M will also have a total of $772 million added to our revenue. Firstly, this will be due to by using a lower effective tax rate that we will gain from Avery, we will be able to gain $749 million, whereas as well as gain $23 million by having them come up to our profit margin, because currently we're at 23.7% and they're at 12.5%. This will, again, as mentioned earlier, increase our overall revenues by $772 million a year. While we are primarily buying the company for the pressure-sensitive adhesives, we will also be gaining their healthcare and safety graphics markets. So what will happen with this is we still have $10 billion that 3M uses, or that gains in revenues towards those industries, and we'll be able to increase those industries further by acquiring the company's other industries. In other studies, we also saw that the pressure-sensitive adhesives is soon to grow into a $14.2 billion industry by 2024. So by gaining Avery at an earlier time, we'll be more likely to increase our revenues in the future, not only just from the $772 million, but as the industry increases in itself. As we approach the next slide, in conclusion, 3M should merge with Avery Dennison because it will help increase the stability for the company, further diversify our products. We will be able to gain a larger share of an industry, the pressure-sensitive adhesives, which is set to again increase by 6% over the next year into $14.2 billion by 2024. And with it being unlikely for the Federal Trade Commission to stop it, we should progress forward, take Avery Dennison, take the technology that they have, advance our own industries, and with an increase of $749 million by paying less taxes. this is a great deal for our company, and it is a great opportunity for us to expand our horizons even further. Thank you very much for your consideration. Thank you from Randy, Siobhan, and myself. Thank you for listening.